And our next witness is Ms. Cheryl Lombard, and she is the Senior Program Director for Power Infrastructure and Minerals at ClearPath Action, and she is stationed here in Washington, D.C. Ms. Lombard, you are now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairman Stauber, Congressman Whitman, Ranking Member Ocasio-Cortez, and Congressman Huffman, and members of the subcommittee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify today. Yes, my name is Cheryl Lombard, and I'm the Senior Program Director for Power Infrastructure and Minerals at ClearPath Action. We're a 501c4 organization that advocates for clean energy, innovation, modernized permitting, and regulatory reform. The U.S. will need to double our power capacity over the coming decades to meet the expected energy demand. This will require substantial infrastructure, energy generation, batteries, transmission systems, and more, all of which rely on critical minerals and materials. The International Energy Agency predicts that the demand for energy-related minerals like lithium, cobalt, graphite, and nickel could grow 20 to 40 times by the year 2040. And today we produce very little of these minerals domestically. I will focus my testimony on 4 ways this committee can work to meet that demand, accelerate American innovation, and reduce global emissions. Specifically, number 1, the bipartisan Intergovernmental Critical Minerals Task Force Act. 2, the challenges with the status quo of relying on foreign minerals and materials. 3rd, recommendations to streamline permitting for domestic resources. And finally, strengthening U.S. and allied supply chains for critical minerals and materials. ClearPath Action supports H.R. 7807, the Intergovernmental Critical Minerals Task Force Act. This task force, created by this bill, would coordinate efforts across federal, state, local, tribal, and territorial governments to address vulnerabilities in the U.S. critical supply chains, as Ranking Member Ocasio-Cortez described it as a whole government approach. This committee has passed multiple mining-related bills, including H.R. 1, all of which point in the same direction: align U.S. domestic and international interests. This bill would be another important piece of that puzzle. It is worth noting that the Biden administration has promoted numerous actions that have created challenges for domestic mining projects, prolonging lengthy permitting processes and limiting access to domestic resources while favoring those sourced from overseas. From Wyoming and Minnesota to Alaska and Arizona, the Biden administration's actions have made it harder to produce critical minerals and materials such as copper and zinc, which are essential for electric grid components, nickel and lithium, which are important for battery storage, electric vehicles, and geothermal energy. In contrast, this bill would create a unified strategic approach. It also includes recycling and reuse, and how it plays an important role in securing these supplies by creating secondary sources. Recycling alone cannot meet demand, but it supplements mining and will help to reduce environmental impacts. Today, according to the USGS Mineral Commodity Summaries Report of 2024, the U.S. is fully import reliant for 15 of the 50 critical minerals, which has already been said today by the members. Meanwhile, China has the leading producer of most of these. China also controls global refining for 90% of the rare earth element supply and 60 to 70% of the global lithium and cobalt supply. Meanwhile, the U.S. struggles to permit domestic projects. Data shows regulatory approvals for mines has fallen to the lowest level in decades. We must do better to keep up with demand growth. Federal permitting must shift to expedite approvals for projects that deliver net benefits and meet legal standards for environmental laws, including clean air and clean water. We need all regulatory certainty from one presidential administration to the next. This is especially true for critical minerals and materials projects due to the long development timelines. Legal decisions, such as the Rosemont decision, have further complicated efforts in recent years. The House passed the Mining Regulatory Clarity Act of 2024 by a bipartisan vote to fix this issue once and for all. Now we can do much more with this bill. Achieving mineral and material security for the United States requires both time and strategic international collaboration. The task force created in this bill will strengthen international partnerships, domestic capabilities, and supply chains while protecting U.S. national security and economic development. This legislation also creates jobs and drives innovation in critical minerals by streamlining the regulatory processes and enhancing coordination across government and industry. I want to thank you once again for this opportunity to testify, and we look forward to working with this committee and others to further American critical minerals and materials independence. Thank you.